This is RMB Dreams here, and we are back with another video. This time we are doing Layton Brothers Mystery Room. Let's get to it then, shall we? Play the game. Yes. Ooh, this is gonna be exciting. I could go through all of this, but that's the free stuff, and I paid for all of this extra content. Yeah, you have to pay for all this extra content, and if you can't, well, tough luck. Anyways, let's get to it then, shall we? File number 3, a murder staged. Requester Justin Lawson, difficulty 2. Case open. Start anew. Yes, please. Loading. You here, Al? Are we expecting you? Oh, I must be in the wrong room. Ah, Lawson, what are you doing here? There you are, Al. So, who's this young lady then, I'm Lucy Baker. I'm the prof's new research assistant. You two haven't met before, have you? This is Justin Lawson. He's a detective with the Serious Crime Squad. Sorry, but the introductions will have to wait. Have you heard about the actress in the onstage murder case? Ooh, I have. I saw it on the Jeremy Summer show instead of Jeremy Kyle show. Some loopy fan announced they were going to kill the lass on stage. That's the press's take on it, is it? Is it? They've got it wrong? Yes, it's much more straightforward than that. A stagehand was found in the wings holding the gun. So you have your man then? Unfortunately not. Someone punched the young bloke and knocked him out cold, you see? What? The murderer got a thumping? Interesting. This sounds like a case for the mystery room. We'll look into it. I had a feeling you'd want to take it on. I've already sent the file over. Good luck with it. Ooh. This must have been the highest profile case the Prof and I ever worked on. The incident took place in a famous West End theatre. A popular actress was shot on stage in front of a full house. There were 3 suspects, one of whom were a famous actor. It were the hottest gossip in town, and the Jeremy Summer show covered it every day, but the truth behind the case that were the real shocker. No one could have guessed who the real culprit were, no one. File number 3, a murder staged. Let's go over the case. The incident took place during a play in which a high-profile actor and actress were starring. The victim was Gloria Blaze, the actress playing the part of the heroine. Gloria Blaze, victim 32, female. The victim, a famous actress, an actress of illustrious theatrical heritage, who underwent stage training from a very early age and was greatly admired. Engaged to famous actor Roscoe Strapping. Her co-star was the popular performer Roscoe Strapping. It turned out the pair were also engaged to be married in real life. At the performance's climax the other day, the hero played by Strapping shoots his unfaithful wife, played by Blaze. As the shot goes off, Blaze falls to the floor in a pool of blood. All this was exactly as scripted. Despairing of his actions, the hero leaves the room. As he exits the stage, Strapping collides with a supporting actress by the name of Destiny Knox. Ooh, I bet she were having a case of the jitters before her big entrance. Immediately after that, the lights went out. In the pitch black, Blaze cries out for help. As it dawns on the audience that this is not part of the play, another shot rings out through the darkness. No! The stage director hurriedly brings the lights back up, but Blaze is still where she lay, utterly motionless. Knox runs over to her and discovers that she's dead. Shot in the dark, eh? Now we have to turn our attention to another involved party, a stagehand by the name of Bray Clegg. Bray Clegg, suspect 31 male, a stagehand in the victim's show, a prop assistant who had a crush on Blaze. He personally manufactured all of the props used in the show, from the replica gun to the fake blood. He was found lying unconscious in the wings, with the murder weapon in his hand. By Eck, Prof, there's not more incriminating than that, surely. It's far from conclusive proof that he's the killer, so that information's being kept from the press. Anyway, Clegg claims he was hit by someone while the lights were out. Sounds fishy to me. Perhaps, but he definitely lost consciousness for a while. That is beyond dispute. So let's consider who the culprit could be. We can start with the stagehand, Bray Clegg. He was found lying unconscious in the wings with the gun that was used in the shooting in his hand. However, he claims someone knocked him unconscious and planted the weapon on him. Going off the evidence we have, he's got to be our number one suspect, eh? Our next suspect is the play's leading actor, Roscoe Strapping. Don't think I read this one. Roscoe Strapping, suspect 38 male. Victim's fiancé and star of the show. A preeminent star of the stage, of television and of film, who enjoys overwhelming popularity. He exited the stage just before the theatre was plugged into darkness. He claims to have been alone in his dressing room when he heard the shot. I wonder. And finally we have the supporting actress, a Miss Destiny Knox. Suspect 27 female, Destiny Knox, a new actress in the victim's show, though generally regarded as a good-looking and competent up-and-coming talent. There are rumours that she'll stop at nothing to get a part. She was on stage with the victim when the lights went out. She was also the closest person to the victim when the lights came on again. The one who discovered the body. So those are our three suspects. Based on that information, Lucy, who do you think did it? What's your hunch? After you've told me that, we'll start with the actual detective work. It's curtains for whoever did this, Prof. You mark my words. Who's gonna just go with your gut? Okay, now what? Who's the criminal? Just go with your gut feelings. So I can immediately ask for advice, investigate the crime scene. Who do you think the killer is? Okay. Just so we're clear. What? Suspect, age, sex, a member of the audience, one of Blaze's fanatical admirers. The media have pinned the murder on this as yet unidentified mystery theatre goer. I personally think it's this person. I have no idea if it is. But I have a really good hunch and feeling that it is. And how have you reached that conclusion? Because Knox were the closest person to Blaze when she were shot. Exactly. But don't you see the problem? How could she have put the gun in Clegg's hand? No, let me tell you what I think. I think Strapping is our man. What? Yes, let's see. I'm 92.9% sure of it. Well, we best call that man in and have him put paid to your doubts about the other 7.1% then. Exactly what I was hoping to do. But I'm not sure he'll come. Let's take a moment to consider what we already know about Strapping. I know something. Roscoe Strapping, stud of the stage, engaged to be married but engaged in you-know-what with another lass at the same time. At least, that's what they said on Jeremy Summer Show. So, our suspect is something of a cad. The worst kind of man and the enemy of all women. But that's not what we should be focusing on here. There's something else that interests me. Oh, what's that? He's an actor, and actors are masters of deception. They make fantasy appear as reality, and Strapping is one of the best. Could be a tough nut to crack then, eh, Prof? Oh, there's a doorbell. Hey up, we've got company. Who are you? Strapping! Do excuse the unannounced entrance. Oh, Roscoe Strapping. Well, what a belly and an unexpected pleasure, I must say. Are you a fan, Precious? You wish. I'm a research assistant here in the Mystery Room. DC Baker to you. This is the Mystery Room. The very place I've been looking for. You must be Roscoe Strapping. The one and only. My fame and talent precede me, I see. Good. And you are? I work here in the Mystery Room with Detective Constable Baker. Inspector Layton's the name. Might I ask why you're here? I heard there was a team attempting to unravel the gruesome truth about my dear Gloria's chilling end. So I came to solve the mystery. Huh? Well, that would be a great help. Please enlighten us. Deductions. So without further ado, I present to you the truth. The identity of the black-hearted miscreant responsible for my late wife to be demise, it was Bray Clegg, the stagehand. Well, you're quite the detective, aren't you, Mr. Strapping? It is an elementary case of deduction, my dear. Firstly, he was crushed by unrequited love, and secondly, the prize simpleton was found holding the murder weapon. Simply following these 2 lines of investigation leads you directly to the unequivocal truth. That my dear Gloria shuffled off this mortal coil when Ray Clegg put a bullet through her chest. I see you're fairly fixed on your line of inquiry. Aren't you going to set this upstart straight, Prof? On the contrary, I think Mr. Strapping has some very compelling theories. So, let the investigation begin. He stole the Prof's line. Right, Blaze's wound. Investigating the wound means checking out the body, right? Would you like a strong man to escort you? I'll be just fine, thank you very much. Start investigating. Yes, please. Here goes nothing. Investigate the body. Right, corpse. Stage position A. A mark indicating Blaze's place on stage for the scene in which she gets shot. In which she gets shot, yeah. Blaze's dead body, she was killed with a single bullet through the chest. Forensics confirmed she was shot from a distance of 1 to 3 meters away. A single shot to the heart from between 1 and 3 meters away, resulting in instant death. Exactly, from the barrel of the very revolver found in Clegg's guilty hand. Clegg did it. He'll go to her. I'm not going to read that out. I'll see that dastard rot in. I'm not reading that out. Please try to remain calm. Let's continue with our investigation, shall we? Of course, do excuse me. The bullet passed straight through the victim's body. We should be able to find it somewhere on the scene. Seek out the slug. I hear you, Prof. We're looking for a bullet hole now. Hunt the bullet hole. Find the bullet hole. Bloodstain. A grim mix of Blaze's real blood and stage blood. The bright red is the fake blood, while the real blood has now darkened. Bloody note. And that's not swearing, by the way. It says that. And also, by the way, in case you didn't know, it is covered in blood. So it is okay to say bloody note. A typed slip of paper that reads, "You'll pay for betraying me." It's not a prop from the show and has a hole in it where the bullet went through. Let me go through this. A sofa used as a prop on stage. At a distance, it appears to be a very luxurious piece of furniture, but in truth, it's stained and suffering the effects of old age. Picture standard lamp. Bullet hole. Yes! Having passed through Blaze's chest, the bullet that killed her pierced a hanging picture to finally lodge itself in the set wall. Yes! This is it, Prof. Okay, so from the relative positions of this hole and the corpse, we can deduce where the shot originated. I'll figure it out in a jiffy. Not so fast. Stop. We already know that Gloria's life was taken by a bullet. Any further investigation about that is a complete waste of time, surely. What's the point? We know it's again. Stop. We're just trying to be thorough. It won't take a moment. Establish all the facts pinpointing the shooter. This guy is suspicious. Well, if you waste precious minutes while that miscreant roams free, just get on with it quickly. Waste of time. Yeah, we get it. Alright then. Picture. An oil painting hung on a wall of the set. It's a very beautiful picture, but being a replica is of no particular value. Standard lamp. A standard lamp used on the set that offers somewhat mellow illumination. Right then. Yep, we've established that. Zoom out. Right, this is... Gun. An old revolver that has been identified as the weapon that killed Blaze. 5 unused bullets were found in the cylinder. Clegg. This is where Clegg was found unconscious, revolver in hand. He was struck multiple times in the back of the head. Zoom out. Replica gun. A model of a gun that was used in the show. Its construction is such that it can only fire blanks. It's swimming in the oil used to lubricate the mechanism. Zoom out. Remote switch. A switch to detonate the squib of fake blood that was concealed in Blaze's outfit. She was supposed to operate it at the appropriate time, but it was found in the bin. Rubbish bin. A plastic rubbish bin situated out of sight of the audience. Various discarded items are inside. Cool. I'm just investigating a lot of stuff now. I think I'll be back once I find out where everything was shot from. Blaze was shot dead from about 1 to 3 meters away. Try looking at that sort of distance. Okay. Right here. Oh yeah, I'm back, by the way. Far from here. Well, as far as I can tell, it put the shooter about here. Ha ha ha. That was my position on stage. Sorry, Angel Face, but you're reading the wrong lines. Think again. Try again. My place on stage. What's your reasoning, Lucy? Body and bullet hole placing, yep. That's within the 1 to 3 meters distance from the body. Yes, it's indeed likely that the shot originated here, pinpointing the shooter. Aye, this is the spot, alright. The gun must have been fired from right here. Nowhere else. What an extraordinary coincidence, ladies and gents. 1 in a million, the very spot I occupied on stage. By bad luck, by chance, by a twist of fate. Of course, it's no relevance whatsoever. As I expected, this has all been an utter waste of time, a fool's errand, irrelevant trivia. On the contrary, this is extremely relevant information, relevant truth. Pardon me? When the shot was heard, it was pitch black on stage. Shooting the victim dead with a single bullet in total darkness is bordering on the impossible. Slain by a single slug, shot in the dark, sensational sniping. Bordering on, perhaps, yet alack, my glorious life was taken with one such miserable slug. Whatever you may say now, nothing can bring my darling back. Oh, fate, you are a cruel mistress indeed. Nah, this guy is sus. He's sounding more and more sus. Gloria's gone, a single slug. Love is lost. No, very true. Nothing will bring Miss Blaze back to life, but the final curtain has already fallen. There is nothing more to say. Clegg's gun. Hadn't we better look for the gun that Clegg used, eh? An excellent idea, and while you do that, I'll see about finding the way to your heart. Eh, you what? Start investigating, yes please. Find the murder weapon. Right, here it is. Gun. This is the weapon. I've got it, the murder weapon. This is the gun, alright. Brother, brains and beauty, what am I going to do with you? Keen wit, good looks. Give over, I'm note special. The barrel of this very gun carried the bullet that pierced my beloved's heart and stole her from me. Led to death. Find the facts. When you examine the evidence, that is exactly what you shall find. So now you must ask yourself, what scoundrel was holding the gun? What rogue was holding the gun? Ooh. Okay. Okay. What rogue was holding the gun? Right. What rogue was holding the gun? Clegg. Here he is. Here's Clegg. He's been knocked out while he's still holding the gun. Gun in hand. Clocked Clegg. Excellent work, Angel Face. What fantastic eyes you have. Oh my goodness. Perhaps you'd like to come and work for me as my personal assistant? Fat paychecks, take a PA post, fantastic perks. No thanks, I think I'll pass. Fat chance, take a hike, personal nightmare. Pity. Still, at least now we have conclusive proof that Clegg was in possession of the murder weapon, caught gun in hand. Surely that's more than enough evidence to charge the rapscallion, Clegg caught in hand. Let's not forget one rather crucial thing. Clegg was struck repeatedly in the back of the head. Repeated blows. Occipital battery, I think. I don't know what that is. Ha ha ha. Obviously the boy did that to himself. Self-inflicted. Really? Really? Was it really self-inflicted? Let's assume for a moment that Clegg is guilty and that he knocked himself out to avoid suspicion. Hit himself senseless feign innocence. If that were true, it would be very strange indeed. Do you see why, Lucy? What was odd about Clegg's knocking himself out to avert suspicion? Was down. Was hit multiple times. Wrong. Wouldn't it be a bit odd that he were hit so many times from behind instead of just once? Indeed it would. Stunning angel, simply stunning. This is a long conversation. He fell face down, I think that. What? You see, this is trial and error. Right. He was still holding the gun. There we go. Well, if I were trying to make it look like I hadn't done it, I'd have chucked that gun away for starters. Tartar gun. Exactly. Whatever plot you came up with to divert suspicion from you, it would not involve holding the gun. However you look at it, Clegg would have disposed of the gun before knocking himself out. The order's all wrong. Tartar gun, a diversion. Tut tut, you make such assumptions without knowing the man. The man's a thing. I tell you, he's a complete imbecile. Clegg is that thing. He's the killer. That's why he didn't have the brains to figure out he should dispose of the gun. It's really quite obvious. I see. Well, there's nothing more we can say on the matter then. Unfortunately not. The man is witless, and that's all there is to it. Honestly, I just want him to, leave us to do our own investigation. Well, I think that settles it. Clegg is the killer, there can be no doubt. What planet have you been on all this time, eh? Let's recap. The victim, Gloria Blaze, was killed by a single bullet, and the person found holding the gun was none other than Clegg. However, Clegg was hit by someone and knocked unconscious, and if he'd been trying to make it look like he hadn't done it, he'd never have kept hold of the gun. But he's a complete thing. He hasn't the brains to work that out. The other thing we know for certain is where Miss Blaze was shot from. That's where you were standing on stage during the performance, Mr. Strapping. Yes, by a cruel twist of fate, my beloved seems to have been shot from the very spot where I stood. The problem is in the timing. To shoot somebody from anything other than point-blank range in total darkness is bordering on the impossible. Then it was a fluke. This is completely irrelevant. However, never mind all that. I've just remembered something of vital importance. Oh, what's that then, out of the blue? The death threat. There was a threatening note, was there not? Eh? With that additional evidence, you will have no choice but to acknowledge Clegg must be the killer. It seems we have some more investigating to do. Indeed you do. Find the death threat. Death threat. Cool. Now picture the scene. Clegg falls in love with the beautiful Gloria, but his passion is resultedly rejected. Consumed by self-pity and rage, he sends a death threat to the poor, defenseless flower. So where's this death threat now then, eh? Somewhere at the scene of the crime, naturally. One of the detectives who came to the theatre told me of it. I'm quite sure it's there. But you haven't actually seen it with your own eyes, though. Ha ha ha. I don't need to see it to know what artless piffle Clegg no doubt came up with. Now go and find it. Find the note that contains the incriminating death threat. Wow, it's like this one wants to find out that he's the killer. Zoom in. That's the death threat. Here, Prof, I reckon this must be the death threat, don't you? Excellent work, Lucy. That's for the Prof to decide, Mr. Strapping, not you. You'll pay for betraying me, I see. Isn't it a bit funny that it says that? Betraying, I mean. It makes it sound like Clegg and Blaze had a fling or summat. Utter tosh. I don't know what that means. Hopefully it's not bad. Gloria only had eyes for me. In that case, it seems probable that Mr. Clegg was not the author of the note. That's one possible explanation, yes. So who were it that Miss Blaze had done the dirty on then, eh? Of course, it's so obvious. The killer must have been a member of the audience. Gloria had countless fanatical followers. Picture the scene, a fan consumed with jealousy over Gloria's engagement to me. Oh, my poor beloved, how you shook like a little lamb whenever you opened one of their tasteless letters. This scrap of paper we've been musing over is quite obvious, a death threat from this unhinged fan. By Eck, Prof, if we have to pull in everyone from the audience for questioning, we'll be here all year. Hey up, that's the phone. Excuse me a moment. So tell me, are you two involved? Lovers a couple. I beg your pardon? You must be, surely. A true stallion would be sure to get a little frisky cooped up here with such a fine young lady. If I were her, I should take it as an insult to my femininity that nothing has happened. Eh? You're a red-blooded male, aren't you? What, Mr. Strapping? That were your manager on the phone. There's a famous chap who wants words with you at your office. Good gracious, is that the time? It must be that bore of a £2 billion film I'm supposed to be acting in. $2 billion. Naturally, they wanted me as the headliner. What was it now? A pirate film, I think. Well, it sounds very important. You won't want to keep them waiting, I imagine. Well, seeing as we've proved who the murderer is, I shall take this opportunity to make my my exit. Alright, ta-ta then. We'll be seeing you. I'm looking forward to it already, precious. Angel face. It's DC Baker to you. Adieu. Finally, that guy leaves. Ah, that man gets right up my nose. Do you really think he did it? Yes. Without a shadow of a doubt. We still have a number of riddles to solve, but he's a very intelligent adversary. Oh, he doesn't seem that sharp to me. He very carefully and deliberately diverts the conversation away from the most crucial point. The most crucial point? What's that then? Whether Blaze was actually shot in the dark or not. Ooh. Are you saying that Blaze weren't shot when it all went dark? Do you recall when we concluded the shot was fired from? Aye, where Strapping had been standing on stage, weren't it? Yes, and to hit Blaze from that distance with a single shot in the dark would be impossible. But we know that's where she were done in from, don't we? So, we do. There's no disputing where the shot was fired from. But when the shot was fired, that's a detail about which we still have some room for manoeuvre. What do you mean, when it were fired? I mean, if only it hadn't been pitch black, Blaze would have been an easy shot from that location. Do you see? So now, when do you think the shot was fired that killed Blaze? When was Blaze killed? Yep. By Ekprof, not during the performance, exactly. We know where the shooter was standing, and we know there was the noise of a gunshot. When you consider those two facts together, there's only one logical conclusion. The gun used in the final scene of the play were the real gun. Correct. Unbelievable. We can be almost certain that's the truth of the matter, but it is just a theory at this stage. We need to find some evidence that Blaze was actually shot while the performance was underway. I hear you, Prof. I'm on it. Yes, please. Prove Blaze died mid-performance. Okay, let me come back to this one moment. Ah, that must have been used to detonate the squib and burst Blaze's bladder of fake blood. Blaze would have been the one to push the button, wouldn't she? So how come it were chucked away here in the bin? Yes, what does that tell us, do you think, Lucy? No. It was broken, wasn't used. I think it was broken then. No, it wasn't used then. Oh. Trial and error. It wasn't used. If the remote's here in the bin, then chances are Blaze never pushed the button at all. There you have it. Despite failing to trigger the squib, blood poured from Blaze's wound during the performance, because she were actually shot with a real gun. And we have the entire audience as witnesses. That's hard evidence then, isn't it, Prof? Yes, well done. He. Let's hand the remote over to forensics and have them confirm the button was never pressed. I'll go and ask them right this minute. Ooh. I've been and asked them. I've been thinking while I was gone, why would you want to kill someone in front of all of them witnesses, eh? That, Lucy, is the biggest mystery of this case. If his aim had been even slightly off, he'd have given himself away in an instant. It's hard to see what was driving him, I must say. Well, there's no point worrying about what we don't yet know. Let's continue our investigation based on what we do know. Blaze was shot with a real gun in the final scene of the performance. Now we've established that the events that followed in the darkness start to fall into place. There's plenty of questions need answering now. Firstly, Blaze's scream, and secondly, the gunshot that rang out through the darkness. Let's get to the bottom of those two curiosities. Questioning over. Shot in the dark. Let's do that one first. Let's get this straight. If Blaze were killed during the performance, what were the shots that everyone heard when the lights went out? My guess is that it was fired by Strapping as part of the whole deception. There's sure to be evidence on the scene somewhere that proves he fired a second shot. I'd best get looking then. Yes. Yes, please. I think it's the fake thing then. Replica gun, this is the evidence. This is what he used. Strapping must have used this replica gun. No, I bet that's it. Let's see, the prop gun was found behind the set. He would have had to work his way round to knock out Clegg from here, then, if you're right. Is there any evidence you can find that would support that idea, Lucy? Prove Strapping moved in the dark. Oh, that's easy. It's the oil stains. Boom, oil stains. These oil stains are a bit telling, aren't they? Ah, yes, that must be from the oil used to lubricate the replica gun. He must have been running his hand along the back of the set here to feel his way in the dark, without a doubt. That's how Strapping worked his way over to where Clegg was. He groped around the dark until he located him. Then he hit him and knocked him out. Nasty stuff. This shows us the person who had the replica gun passed this way. In other words, it's proof that Strapping crossed behind the back of the stage in the dark. We're getting closer, Prof. Scream in the dark. So if Blaze were dead as a doornail already before it went dark, she'd have had a hard job screaming, eh? The most obvious explanation is that it was someone else who screamed. So Lucy, who do you think actually let out the scream in the darkness? Could have been this person, or it could have been the other person. Yes, there we go. Well, if it weren't Blaze who screamed, the The only other possibility is that not, lass. Quite. Neither Strapping nor Clegg could have convincingly imitated a woman's scream, but that's not quite the whole story. We already have evidence to suggest that Strapping told Knox to scream. What? We do? Yes, it's all there in the suspect statements. Which statement tells us when Strapping most probably told Knox to scream? Notice it when something was wrong when I heard the gunshot. Came back onto stage, the lights were up, and Destiny was holding Gloria in her arms. I knew she was dead in an instant. Either that one or that one. Oh, wrong statement. It's the second statement then. Gotta be the second statement. What? Alright, again, not a good statement. Okay. There we go. What? Alright, none of those statements. Strumming bumped into Destiny. I panicked a bit because it wasn't in the script. I think it's this one. Gotta be that one. Yes, there we go. Hey up, Mr. Strapping bumped into Destiny. That sounds dead fishy, that does. Agreed. Knocking her over would have given him ample time to tell her what he wanted her to do. What, so Knox was an accomplice then? Not exactly. If she were really his accomplice, they would have plotted the whole thing together from the start. Why didn't they? That's a bit odd, isn't it? It seems there's yet more to this case than meets the eye. Okay. We've homed in on the truth, it seems, and proved that Strapping's the killer. Oh, that's the phone. I'll get it. Ooh. It were forensics. They said the remote switch weren't pressed just as we thought. Switch to detonate the squibble for fake blood that was concealed in Blazes' outfit. Investigations have confirmed the switch was not pressed on the day in question. That clinches it. Shall I call Strapping in? There's still something that's troubling me a little, but I'm sure we've got enough. Yes, call him in. I can't tell you how much I've been waiting for this. Da, da, da. I wasn't expecting you'd want to see me quite so soon, precious. Couldn't wait second date. Don't get the wrong idea, Mr. Strapping. As if. Come now, don't be bashful. I like a woman who takes the bit between the teeth. A gutsy girl. Don't try to hide it, you're just my type. I'm telling you, this is strictly business. Mr. Strapping, if I may. We have managed to identify the criminals responsible for murdering your fiancé. I knew it. Didn't I tell you it was someone from the audience? Tell me the wretch's name. Killer in the crown. The killer, Mr. Strapping, was you. Oh, Precious, if you want to get my attention, there are much more effective ways, you know, Precious. No, Mr. Strapping, Lucy is quite serious. You killed Miss Blaze. What a disappointment. You really are an artless pair. I have already laid it out for you on a platter. The killer was hiding in the audience, in the crowd, in the dark. He or she made their way onto the stage in the darkness and pulled the trigger. With one fateful bullet, my darling's heart was pierced and our love rent asunder. Oh, woe, triggered a tragedy. Sorry, but that doesn't stack up. It'd be almost impossible to have killed her with a single shot, and here's why. It was pitch black on stage. When the gunshot was heard, the stage were in total darkness. How could anyone have taken aim when they couldn't even see what to aim at? Ah, yes, I remember you suggesting that idea before. In which case, surely the accusation of my own guilt meets with a sticky end, no? Possible. On the contrary, it's precisely the fact that Miss Blaze was killed with a single bullet that incriminates you, Mr. Strapping. You and you alone, the killer. Quite sure I don't follow. An explanation, sir, if you please. Gun in the show. Miss Blaze weren't killed during the blackout at all, were she? No, her life ended a few moments earlier. Question of timing. On stage during the finale of the show, in front of a full house. Tragedy's leading lady. What a fantastical idea, crazy plot. Your imagination is wasted on this job, Precious. You should hand in your notice and become a dramatist. Start writing scripts. There's note imagined about it. It's the truth. Then pray tell, how do you explain the blood-curdling scream that pierced the darkness? The scream in the darkness. Every member of the audience in the full house of which you speak heard a woman's screams. Scores of witnesses. Boom. I'd be willing to bet it were Miss Knox that screamed. Well, what rot? You're clutching at straws now. Everyone actually there said it was Gloria who screamed. That's just because when the lights came back up, they saw Miss Blaze lying dead on stage, super slain. Faced with a scene like that, who wouldn't assume that were the last that just screamed? Screaming error. And just before the lights went out, you bumped into Miss Knox. It's in Mr. Clegg's statement, Knox into Knox. That's when you told her you were going to need her to scream once you'd cut the lights. You are quite deluded. This is all utter fabrication, wholly untrue. We're not deluded at all. You know, it's the truth. Stop trying to deny it. I have absolutely no recollection of anything you're saying. What me never. Your so-called evidence is all circumstantial. Do you actually have any conclusive proof at all? Unprovable postulation. Holy what ifs. I haven't seen a shred of hard evidence. Oh, we've got proof, all right. The prof's got proof. How about this for starters? Shot blaze. Stage position B. So this one? Not that one. Okay. Sorry, Prof. Stopping stop blaze. Okay, gun. Was it hole? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. The fret, remote switch, oil stains, picture, rubbish bin. Remote. There we go. Isn't that the squib remote? Aye. Which should have been carried by Miss Blaze for her to push the button in time with you firing the blank. Knob never nudged. But Mr. Strapping, the button were never pressed, squib never squirted. So it's a bit hard to explain where all that blood came from in the final scene, eh? Tragic turn of events. No, that can't. There's only one explanation for it that makes any sense. Only one. I think you know what that is, don't you, Mr. Strapping? She were bleeding because you shot her with the real gun. Clearly Gloria just forgot to take the remote control with her that time. There's no way out of this, Mr. Strapping. You can't explain it away. It's the final curtain. You shot her, no question. You're the killer. Nonsense. Mystery solved. Yay! Encore. You what? You overwhelmed me before with your barrage of illogical claptrap, but now I've recovered my poise. I'm not guilty. I was framed. Clegg was behind the whole thing. I don't much care for your constant ducking and diving, Mr. Strapping. I had no idea when I pulled the trigger. I thought it was the replica gun. Firing blanks. But oh, what a cruel error. I only realised my mistake after the fatal deed was done. I had no idea. The deed was done. It was the recoil that alerted me to the truth. I've had just about enough of your lies. You can't trick us anymore. Oh, but my dear Lucy, he's telling the truth now. Oh, crikey, not again. Someone very carefully arranged for a real gun that looked exactly like the replica to be there at the scene. Yes, that part of all this was very much premeditated crime. But everything that followed, that wasn't driven by lust, nor by heartache, nor by insanity even. No, what followed was nothing more than an ad-lib scramble to hide the truth of the clumsy cover-up premeditated. Come on, Prof, you're not saying there were someone else involved that switched the guns over? Oh yes, there was someone else involved, the mastermind behind this whole charade. Just the sort of killer I like. You're getting rather carried away in your soliloquy. But despite your rather crazed demeanour, I believe you've got to the truth, Inspector. Indeed, the root of all this evil is Clegg. He's the one who switched the guns. Gun switched. Twisted feelings. After all, the man was head over heels in love with Gloria. Bit of a funny way to show it, isn't it? Why then, you ask? Did he feel the need to kill Gloria in front of a theatre full of onlookers? Poor house, it cannot be. The answer, of course, is staring you all in the face. Hey, enough of this high and mighty know-it-all attitude, eh? You're the guilty one, don't forget it. Hoity-toity, know your place. Guilty, moi? Au contraire, I am a victim in all of this. Listen to you two yapping like dogs. Am I going to have to cut out your tongues to get you to... There's really no need for violence, Inspector. I keep your hair on, Prof. So strapping. Yes, what is it, sir? You pulled the trigger of what you thought was a replica gun and shot a bullet right through Blaze's heart, unbeknown to you. Then, to avert suspicion, you cut the light and had Knox scream as you fired off a blank, frantic cover-up. And just to be sure, you fumbled your way over to Clegg, knocking him out and put the gun in his hand. Isn't that how it happened? To the letter. Bravo, Inspector. Brilliant deduction. You're admitting it now. I didn't think you'd fold that easily. So you're a coward as well as a crook. Yes, man. Also ran. Bravado's a sham. What are you talking about? I did it for justice. Direct your scorn at Clegg. He switched the guns. He is the true criminal, root of all evil. Catch Clegg. For justice. Clegg switched the guns. Don't make me laugh. Remember Blaze's dead body. That mouse of a man doesn't have the flair for such an inspired death. Inspired death, eh? Oh yes, inspired and... Okay, just to be real here, Professor... Layton, brother, or whatever you call it. Inspector Layton, that's it. This guy with the red hair. He's kind of going insane, isn't he? Yeah, he's going insane. Just so we're all clear. He's not his normal self when he's speaking like this and his hair's all, you know. But anyways, the final scene. The audience on the edges of their seats, then pow, shot through the heart. Blood spilling everywhere. The stage awash with crimson glory. Magnificent. Wouldn't you agree? Oh my goodness. Is this fellow quite alright? What are you talking about? There's no magnificent about murder, Prof. Indeed! You don't see. No, I do not. And I don't much want to. Not the way you're seeing things right now, anyhow. Ha ha, at least you're plucky. Think, Lucy, who is the mastermind behind this crime, and what is the evidence that proves it? You've both seen the evidence already. It couldn't be more plain. Who's masterminded the whole thing and switched the guns? Reveals the true mastermind behind this case. Oil stains and... okay. What? It'll make say something outrageous to get my attention. What? Audience? This is gonna be stupid, but you know. I know this is trial and error now. No, it can't be Gloria Blaze, Destiny Knox. Okay. And that one. Finally! Holy moly. Gloria Blaze, and it's the remote control that proves it. Irreputable proof truly culpable. 100%! Finally! You've really lost the plot now, precious. Gloria, the victim of this terrible crime, not the perpetrator. Holy moly, that took a long time. I'm sorry, but that took a long time. Lucy's absolutely right. Thank goodness you're back, Prof. Sorry if I alarmed you. Yes, the remote control we found discarded in the rubbish bin. I believe Miss Blaze threw it away on purpose. What a ludicrous suggestion. Why on earth would she do such a thing? Because Miss Blaze planned all of this right from the start. She was responsible for switching the guns. She knew she were going to be shot dead that day. Planned death, procured a real gun. So she had no use for the remote control. That's just nonsensical, baffling. I don't understand. Why would Gloria orchestrate her own murder, for goodness sake? No, nonsensical, bewildering. Yes, what was going through Miss Blaze's mind to make her take such extreme measures? Innermost thoughts. The answer to that is written in a message which you have already seen with your own eyes. Mystery message. What message? The message that Miss Blaze wrote to you and left for you to find. Lucy, would you care to explain? It was the message, the death threat. There we go. You'll pay for betraying me. The price of betrayal. That's what Miss Blaze wrote, and she meant the message for you. Final words. Is it starting to make sense now? Not the affair. But she wouldn't have killed herself like this because of a silly affair. You'd have to be out of your mind. I think it's fair to say Miss Blaze was not of sound mind, broken heart. Driven to madness as she was, Mr. Strapping by you. Mystery solved! Woo! Finally. Took me a while, but I got there. It was the remote and Gloria. Al, are you here? Oh, hello, Detective Lawson. Have you got some new info for us? Yes, I have. The lads have found a typewriter in Blaze's room identical to the one used to type the note you found. And they've proven it was Blaze who ordered the gun too. That's the proof we needed. Lovely job. Who'd have guessed the victim was the mastermind behind the whole thing? I'm amazed you figured it out. Hee hee. So tell me exactly who did figure it out, Eh, what do you mean? The prof and me, of course. Who else? That's what I'm asking you. I don't follow. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but I'm going to have to leave. Oh, it's not like you to head off so early, Prof. Everything all right? Yes, perfectly. There's just a program I'd like to see on the television, so I'll see you tomorrow. Okie dokie, see you later. Bye, Al, nice work. I bet the prof's jiggered after all that excitement. Excitement, what do you mean? I'll tell you what I mean. When he starts getting on a roll with his questions and that, he changes. It's ever so sudden when it happens. I see. And how does he change exactly? Like you wouldn't believe. For starters, his hair goes all wild and dishevelled. It hangs down in front of his eyes. It's that creepy. It is. Makes him look evil, it does. I see. Anything other than his hair that changes about him? Oh, it's his whole personality. That's the worst bit about it. It's the way he says stuff, I suppose. He gets all high and mighty and mardy and, well, just plain scary if truth be told. I mean, do you know what he said to me and the fellow that were here before when we were arguing? No, what? He said we were yapping like dogs and he'd have to cut out our tongues. And he were being serious. Heh, you can't blame the man for having a sense of humour. It weren't funny. He's so intense, I'm telling you, it's dead frightening. It must be very difficult. Aye, well, that dark side of his is starting to get up my nose. He's this far away from Lucy Lamping. Biff. Well, try not to lose your patience. Oh, I'm trying hard. By the way, Al doesn't ever come out with any unfamiliar names when he's like that, does he? Eh? You know, he doesn't start talking about people or places that have nothing to do with the case. No, I can't say he does. I'll tell you something he did say, though. He said death were inspired and beautiful. Really? Why are you so interested anyway? Oh, no reason, really. It's just, well, if he does mention any strange names whilst he's like that, be sure to let me know on the quiet, okay? On the quiet? Yes, it'd be better for Al that way. How come? It just would, trust me. Well, okay, if you say so. Just make sure he doesn't find out you're reporting to me. Okay then. It's closed. Finally. My goodness, I'm not starting another case now, but that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all those things, and I will speak to you all in another video. Woo! Bye-bye.